Teach me about the Great Lakes. Teach me about the Great Lakes. Cha! Welcome back to Teach Me About the Great Lakes, a twice monthly podcast in which I, a Great Lakes novice, ask people who are smarter and harder working than I am to teach me all about the Great Lakes. My name is Stuart Carlton, and I am rolling solo today. That's right, we have a Manel coming your way to talk about the most Manel of topics, which is a comic. Believe it or not, we're going to be talking about a comic book. But you say to yourself, well, gosh, Stuart, a comic book? What does that have to do with the Great Lakes? And the answer is, well, you just wait and find out. And so with that, I think we'll just jump right into it. Our guest today is Glenn Evans. He's a professor of graphic design at St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario, where I get carded to go into the casino, despite being, I don't know, well over twice the age that I need to be. Glenn, how are things up in Windsor?
Honestly, today they're great. It's nice and sunny out, and I'm stuck in an office. So,
There we go.
Could be better, but,
It could be better. But I think graphic design, you spend a lot of time hunched over, stuck in places. I don't know.
Hey, I'm just happy that I've got a window in my office because the most time we're in a basement.
Yep. That makes sense. Okay, so we're here to talk about, I don't even know how to describe this. This is something, I don't even know how I found this. I was probably, I don't even know. But one day I was doing some Googling, as one does. I was Googling around, or I DuckDuckGo, I guess. I was DuckDuckGoing around. And I found this thing called the Great Lakes Avengers. And so I immediately texted it to our good friend, Carolyn the Full Dog Foley. And I was like, we got to do an episode on this. This is the Great Lakes Avengers. And so you're a comic book guy. Maybe you can tell me, what is the Great Lakes Avengers? Is this part of the regular Avengers?
No, not at all. It's if you went into the internets and started looking them up, you might have gone down a bit of a rabbit hole to a degree. So the Great Lakes Avengers as a whole is a weird concept just in general. Okay, so you are familiar with, obviously, the Avengers.
I mean, in broadest terms, I'll be honest, I've not seen an Avenger or read one, but I'm aware they exist.
Yeah, I mean, they're there, right?
They assemble, right? That's what they assemble?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
all the time.
Yeah.
So you've got the Avengers, who are based in New York, right? So they're the East Coast Avengers, right? And then at some point in time, they kind of branched off because, as superheroes do, they need to cover more of the country, right? So then you had the West Coast Avengers. So you had the two sides, right? So the Great Lakes Avengers are kind of the joke. Right, they're a comedic superhero team that was they don't really protect the world. They just kind of protect the corner store kind of thing. They're the lowest of the low tier. Their characters are silly. If anything, it's if you're familiar with Deadpool or like that, they kind of have that break the fourth wall kind of mentality. So it's a huge commentary on the comic industry to a degree, and just silliness.
So general. it is like a winking thing. It's not just they're bad. It's okay.
It's winking, and they're just strange. They're weird. I mean, no, they're not bad per se. but they do have some very interesting abilities. They have some very interesting stories, and there's a lot of stuff that kind of goes with it. They're primarily based in the American Midwest, so around Milwaukee. Okay, and then later on in the story, further down, they actually shifted to being based out of Detroit.
Okay, Detroit, right across the river. Just north of you, for those of you who don't know. Just north. In fact, that's going to be our Great Lakes factoid of the day. I don't have the music handy, but Sandy, go ahead and put in the Great Lakes factoid music here. It's a Great Lakes factoid, a Great Lakes factoid. It's a great factoid about the Great Lakes. Cha! Detroit, Michigan is actually north of Windsor, Ontario, Canada. There we go. Okay, so they're based out of Detroit. And so they have a lot of abilities, but I want to get into who these Avengers are and what precisely they're avenging or what their powers are. First, let's at least to the extent you can. But let's first. So they're kind of winking. Is it campy, kind of like Batman from the 1960s? Is it that kind of thing, or is it?
Well, yeah. There's just some silliness.
Okay.
in terms of like that winking thing. So in the later run, like the more current ones, they basically in every issue they killed off one of the characters.
Okay.
Because in comic books, no one stays dead, kind of thing. It was just every issue someone got offed, and they just brought him back.
They just brought him back, no problem. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was again part of the joke. You know, it's like I said, it's very much a joke to that sense, because they're like, you know, trying to be something bigger, but they're not. They've been sued numerous times because they basically actually, and this kind of comes down to their names. They're opportunistic to a degree. They initially started off as the West Coast Avengers, and then they changed their names to the Lightning Bolts because of the Thunderbolts. And then at another time they changed themselves to the Great Lakes X-Men, and then the Great Lakes Champions, and then the Great Lakes Initiative. Excellent. So several different Great Lake, you know, focused.
Right. Sounds like a real Great Lakes story. Okay, good.
Yeah.
let's go into some of some of your are there how many regular Avengers are there? There's like you got your Iron Man. That's the Steel Man.
Okay, so if we're talking about the Avengers,
Lady of the Cloth, I don't know. Who are your regular Avengers?
So your regular Avengers, if you want like the core kind of MCU, you've got Iron Man, you've got Thor, Captain America, the Hulk, and Hawkeye.
All right, so you got about 5 core regular Avengers. I've actually heard of all of them. Hawkeye is the guy from Mission Impossible.
Jeremy Renner.
There you go. Yeah, okay. All right. And Iron Man, as we know, that's Robert Downey Jr. Thor,
Hemsworth. That's a Hemsworth.
Okay. Which one is the New Zealand dude?
That's that's Loki. No, wait, Tom Hiddleston. Is he English or is he?
No, I'm thinking of the Taika Waititi. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he an Avenger too? Or does he just direct some avenging?
He just directs. He directed the second Thor. So that was the Thor: Love and Thunder and Ragnarok.
There we go. Perfect. All right, listeners, as you can hear, I'm just the person you want telling me. Okay, so we got your regular Avengers, but that's not why we're here. How many? What's the core Great Lakes Avengers crew?
So there are 5 in the original lineup for the Great Lakes Avenger. You have Mr. Immortal, and that one's pretty much on a nose.
Right. Okay.
Like, he is literally immortal.
Nice.
Okay. And again, some of the names are a little, like, again, very odd. You have Big Bertha. I'll get into what their powers are in a minute, but then you have Doorman, Flat Man. Yeah, and Dinosaur.
So that's the female Avenger, Great Lake Avenger.
Yeah. And then later on, like in the later run, Squirrel Girl actually gets added in, and actually somehow that one has become a little more popular.
A little more popular, Squirrel Girl. It's a nice rhyming thing. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to some power. So, Mr. Immortal. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much what it says, right?
Yeah.
Big Bertha, they're a supermodel who can increase their body mass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like with the style, styles change over time.
Yeah, it's just like they just get, they go from that's the character that's probably the most quote unquote, I would say, not problematic, but not the greatest.
I could see how that would. When did this even start?
1989.
Okay, so I could see Big Bertha. I could see. I'm Googling it now, but I'm doing it from. Oh, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a body positivity story.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, and if you look down a little bit, and again, you can look on that one at how she decreases body mass is even more problematic.
Okay. Well, if it's not farting, then I'm not going to tell my kid about it.
Yeah, don't.
Okay. We'll just moving on. Then we have Doorman. Is that right?
Yeah, Doorman. And they're more of like an infrastructure kind of thing. They are a door, they are a door through things.
A door through things. So like if you have a wall, and then Doorman goes. Okay.
You go through Doorman.
Right. Then how does Doorman get out of the?
I don't know. Okay. It's, like I said, there's some holes.
Yeah, Doorman is the hole. Yeah, right. Okay.
So that's, again, like, they're weird.
Yeah, no, this is good. I like it.
Then you got Flatman.
Yeah, Flatman. Okay.
Sorry, you're
an apartment. No, that's it. Flatman is a whole apartment.
No, only in the UK.
That'd be in the UK Avengers, the Mediterranean or the English Channel Avengers, right?
Yeah. So he's basically literally flat. He's a 2-dimensional flatland kind of, like, he's a piece of paper.
Yeah. Huh.
He's stretchy, but he's flat.
Okay. And then there's Dinosaur,
and they are just a pterodactyl looking thing.
Sure. Why not? That's not the one that, no, that's not the one from the famous panel where it's, with tech like that, you could cure cancer, but I don't want to cure cancer.
No, that's Sauron.
That's Sauron. Oh, that's a different deal. Yeah.
That's Spider-Man and Sauron. I've just nerded out there because I know that panel.
Yeah, sure. I found that panel through a podcast called The Flophouse, which I used to listen to a lot. A little bit less now, but I use that panel. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. I use that panel on a lot of my talks, believe it or not. Like my academic talks, I put that up there. The thing is it's got some guy who's got some technology, and he's using it to modify people's DNA, or RNA, actually, I think it is. And somebody says, with tech like that, you could be curing cancer. And the guy says, well, I don't want to cure cancer. Well, he's using it to turn people into dinosaurs. That was key information, right? I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs. And I'm like, yeah, solid point, man. Why not both?
Totally tracks.
But yeah. All right. Anyway, great. All right. So we have these Great Lakes Avengers, and so they go around solving kind of piddling level crimes. And getting sued. How did this? So, and there's 2 runs or more than 2 runs of this. Do you what's some of the background here? Were they just trying to expand out what Marvel did in the 1980s, or?
Well, I mean, like I said, it started off kind of like as that joke, where they were just, kind of there, right. And the, as things happen in comic books, sometimes a writer will take on a new story, or will take on an older book just to try and breathe some life into it, to give it a little bit of a different edge or whatever. And Dan Slott was the writer. So they basically started in 1989. It was created by John Byrne. It was probably about, a few different issues in their first appearances in the West Coast Avengers, from issue 46 to 48. And then they kind of just quietly went away, and then came back in 2005. And like I said, Dan Slott wrote that one. And then, basically the joke there is that, a team member died almost in every issue, and then it's undone, and it was just played off for comedy. So it's literally there every once in a while. Marvel just kind of put in one of those books that's just not so serious.
Yeah, sure.
Because why not? And that, again, it was honestly, a lot of it was making fun of the comic book industry, because they'd always kill somebody off, they'd always bring someone back. And then a lot of the whole suing thing came down to, like, that whole idea of, like, brand identity. And, like, you can't do that because you're not, right. You're encroaching on my brand, kind of thing.
Sure. Oh, so I bet some English professor somewhere is writing has written an interesting paper on the metatextual blah blah related to this, but I'm not that person. Okay, so this is kind of cool. So they did that, and sorry for not. Well, maybe it's good for our listeners. It's pretty common for comics. I know one guy who writes in comics. One guy I went to high school with, a little bit, and he seems to, like, jump around from property to property, or he'll take over something for, like, he did a run of Batgirl, I think.
Cool.
And then, like, stopped. I can't remember it because, again, I don't do. But is that common for, like, they have runs with specific artists or with specific writers? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know all the business ends of the contracts and stuff, but yeah. I mean, I've seen writers, they'll write, a couple issues with one publisher and one title, then they'll jump over to another one. It just kind of ebbs and flows. And honestly, it makes better stories.
Yeah. Just to get a little something fresh in here. All right.
Yeah.
And so is this popular at all? Like, do people like the Great Lakes Avengers, or is it just?
It's kind of, honestly, it's kind of like one of those, in my opinion, it's just kind of one of those underground kind of, they're there kind of jokes. They're not really popular in the sense that, like, everyone's going out to rep their T-shirt or anything,
Yet.
But it's one of those things that, people like oddball characters and people like strange things. And obviously, I mean, because of Deadpool, like, people like being winked at in the story. And,
right.
They kind of almost did it a little bit first, sort of. but it's basically, they're a parody team, and honestly, they have shown up or started to show up a little bit more in more current culture, in the sense that two of the characters have shown up in more modern, like MCU style, like television shows. So, for instance, Mr. Immortal showed up for an episode in the She-Hulk TV show.
Okay.
That came out 3 years ago, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, and again, it was just one of those ridiculous stories where he would constantly get married to someone and then jump out a window, and then marry someone else and then jump out a window. Like, that was the kind of the gag, and he ended up being married to like 9 different women. So sure. There you go.
All right.
Right, and then again, most recently, Wonder Man just released on Disney Plus. I think a month ago.
Oh,
and Doorman is actually in Wonder Man,
and that's on Disney. All right,
yeah, it's on Disney Plus, and he's a bot. I haven't actually watched all of it yet, but I know he's a bot, not a bodyguard. He's a literal. It's funny because he is a literal doorman at a nightclub. So again, it's tongue firmly planted in cheek.
Ooh, 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. There we go. But I'm a Metacritic guy, but it's 74 on Metacritic. Not bad at all.
Yeah, it's in my list of things. As soon as I'm done my grading, it's like that's my next watch.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it. So listeners, if you want to go see some Great Lakes Avenging, you could start with Wonder Man, which contains Doorman, who is a doorman. Gotcha. You can also go to Etsy right now, I think, and pick up a Squirrel Girl plushie, but there's only one left. From Mythfit Creations. Anyway, that's very cool. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about other places you might be able to find these Great Lakes Avengers, and then we have 2 critical questions with our guest, Glenn Evans. Welcome back to Teach Me About the Great Lakes, America's #1 Great Lakes podcast. And right now we're talking about America's #1 Great Lake. You know what? The world's #1 Great Lake podcast. And we're talking about the world's #1 Great Lakes team of Avengers, the Great Lakes Avengers, with Glenn Evans, a professor at St. Clair in Windsor, Ontario. So, Glenn, so we know about this Wonder Man, but what are some other Great Lakes? Are there other must-see Great Lakes Avengers properties that we have to check out?
Honestly, they've kind of just been peppered throughout the MCU, or like even the comic books as a whole. They're not really out there right now. They're not. You're not going to find them as an active team in anything current. Unfortunately, you're going to probably see more Squirrel Girl than anything else. They have definitely made a huge. They've been the fan favorite in my mind.
Okay,
and a lot of people. It's like that character just literally exploded, and everyone, it's just a very fun character. That character is probably the only one to have ever beaten Thanos. And yeah, like there's a whole cosmic power thing going on with Squirrel Girl. Like, again, just kind of a funny little joke. But in terms of things that you can, let me see if I'm going to go back to my notes too, because I had to dig up a couple of things here. But there are, in terms of like, if you're looking for anything Great Lakes Avengers related in terms of story arcs, I mean, you can find them in issues 46 to 48 in their first appearances from West Coast Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah, so that's going to be a little bit easier to. You know what? No one's again, because there's the joke. No one's really actively hunting these down. They're very niche.
Yeah, I'm at eBay now. It's fairly affordable. Some of this stuff, right?
Yeah, so it's like it's very much okay, if you want it, you could probably find it in a really good quality, and then just enjoy the insanity that it is. So that's like the 89 run. Like I said, it's they appeared in about 4 issues, and they don't kind of really reappear, at least anything worthwhile, until about 2005. And that was GLA Misassembled.
I gotcha.
Misassembled, yeah. So again, really leveraging up, because at that time there was the Avengers Assemble like whole story arc kind of thing, and then it's basically, this is the defining Great Lakes Avengers story. Okay, that's the one that a lot of people like really love. It's a little more, again, more tongue in cheek than when they were first appearances. I was just kind of like, okay, they're like, they're the little brother who follows you around in like the West Coast Avenger kind of thing. But that's the arc where a team member dies every issue, and then it's brought back, and it's brought back for comedic purposes. So it's all about satire. It's very, like I said, tongue in cheek. And then again in 2007, you got a Deadpool, Great Lakes Initiative, Summer Fun Spectacular. They team up with Deadpool, constantly breaking the fourth wall. Again, just fun if you like that stuff. And then they actually had a series in 2016, and that was the modern revival of the Great Lakes Avengers. That one is where it's actually set in Detroit, and they introduce the concepts of being, sponsored by corporations, and they deal with local hero problems. Right. So we're not looking at grandiose, like, earth-shattering things. This is like, cats out of trees kind of thing, and
Encyclopedia Brown level mysteries.
Very, very easy stuff, and just kind of very, if you were to put it at anything, I would say that this version of the Great Lakes Avengers is the most like The Office.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're looking at the camera. There's those jokes, and it's just kind of mundane that way.
Got it.
So.
All right. I just realized, so we're 20 whatever minutes in, and I didn't actually ask, is there any actual Great Lakes connection other than they're geographically here?
No.
Okay.
No. So basically, like the only connection they really again have to the Great Lakes is that, like, you have and because that's the joke, right? Because the regular Avengers are New York. They're high level stuff. They take care of the East Coast. Yeah. The West Coast Avengers literally take care of the West Coast, and then you got, like, it's the Midwest,
the Forgotten Coast Avengers. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like, nothing happens.
Right. It's just vaguely affordable and pleasant enough.
Yeah. So, it's kind of, low level stuff, just fun.
Excellent. Well, Glenn, this is amazing. Actually, this is everything I could hope for, and then maybe a little bit more. It's almost enough to get me. I'm on eBay now. I'm probably going to click buy.
Okay. I started hunting some down myself after, like, when I got the call. I had one or two issues, and, like, I've got some parody stuff in my collection because I've been collecting for ever. So it's prompted me to kind of dig up.
This is good.
Stuff.
I'll dig into it, and I'll keep my eyes peeled for, like, at some point, maybe during some of this Marvel stuff, they'll have a little, even just a sneaking reference at some point.
Oh yeah, they are definitely going to most likely come in. I would even argue or speculate that if you're going to watch Avengers Doomsday that comes out, you might even see them in there just as a background character.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not dropping anything that's, like, I'm just totally speculating, but if they're going to throw in a whole multiversal, smattering of characters, why not?
Right? Yeah, sure. Yep. Excellent. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that. But in the meantime, that's actually not why we invited you here on Teach Me About the Great Lakes. The reason we invite you on Teach Me About the Great Lakes is to ask you two questions. And the first one is this. If you could choose to have a great donut for breakfast or a great sandwich for lunch, which one would you choose?
Well, I mean, by default, it's going to be a maple.
A maple? Is that a donut?
A maple glaze. Hey, it's like, for down here, it's a maple glaze. Yeah. That's the, it's the Canadian thing.
Okay. No, that's great. And so I'm going to go back to Windsor. I'm going to get carded to go into the casino, even though I think you can go in at age 17. And I am alarmingly close to 3 times that. I'm not.
Oh dear.
Alarmingly close. But anyway, so I'm going to go. I'm going to, of course, go to the casino. I will engage in gambling. I won't actually engage in gambling, but maybe it'll be a conference there. Maybe I will engage. But the point is this. When I'm done with all that, I'm going to go get a donut. That's it. I'm going to be at the casino all night. I'm going to be winning money left and right. I'm going to go to the baccarat table and do that against like spies and international whatever. And then they're all going to say, shoot, you won, take our money. And I'm going to go out. I'm going to be fat stacks of Canadian cash. And then I have a lot of loonies to blow on a maple. Where should I go to get one?
Well, there's really only one place around in Canada to get a good donut, then that's Tim Hortons.
Oh, no. That's fine. I just won't get any coffee.
No. I won't drink the coffee. Donuts, I'll go with the donuts. Okay. I won't drink the coffee.
Excellent. Well, we wouldn't be a Canadian guest without a Tim Hortons.
I kind of had to.
No, it's no problem. Carolyn is out there right now. She's smiling and nodding and saying, I told you so. Excellent. The other question we'd like to ask is this: what is a special place in the Great Lakes that you'd like to share with our audience, and what makes it special?
For me, it's always been Point Pelee.
Point Pelee? Mm-hmm. Tell me about Point Pelee.
So Point Pelee National Park, it is the southernmost tip of Canada. And it is a great wilderness place that has some nice trails to walk. It's really nice to just kind of go enjoy the afternoon. There's some little beaches that are down there. There's some great nature centers, so you can learn about all the wildlife that is indigenous to the area, and you get to just enjoy being outdoors.
That is cool. I've actually never heard of it before. I'm looking at it now. Look at it right there. Very cool. That is the southernmost point in Canada. Oh, yeah, that's south of Detroit, south of Ann Arbor.
South of everything.
South of everything. It's kind of near Put-in Bay, home of our friends at Ohio Sea Grant, but not that close to that. Excellent. Well, I hope you get some time out there during the beautiful season. And if there's more Great Lakes Avengers news, you better believe that we will have you back on to come talk about it.
Oh, I'll email you.
There it is. Yes. Good, because you'll probably have to. I'm unlikely to see Doomsday, but maybe I will. Maybe I will. One never knows. It seems like a lot to get started at this point if I've missed the first 115 of these. But you never know. You never know. Life is long. Well, Glenn Evans, professor of graphic design at St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario, thank you for coming on and teaching us all about the Great Lakes.
It's Great Lakes adjacent.
Yeah, vaguely, mainly for marketing.
I'm glad to have been here. Thank you for having me.
Well, there you go, listeners. I don't know what to make of that. The only comic I think I've ever read was one called Bayou Billy. No, I've read two comics. Bayou Billy. It's just not my deal. Whatever. Comics, I don't have a problem with them. Comics are great. I just, I don't find myself appreciating the artwork, and so I just churn through them for the plot, and that's not really the purpose of the medium or the art form. So it's not something that I appreciate. But that said, I enjoyed reading about them and discussing about them, so this was cool. The one that I have read is Bayou Billy was a comic that came out in, I don't know, the late 80s, early 90s. I, of course, grew up in the 1980s and 90s in New Orleans, and so Bayou Billy was a big deal for all like 3 or 4 issues that it lasted. So I've got those. They're bagged and boarded, ready to roll. And there was also a NES game, Bayou Billy. I don't fully remember it, to tell you the truth, but I know that I rented that from Major Video on Britannia Street. I definitely remember that. Teach Me About the Great Lakes is brought to you by the fine people at Illinois Indiana Sea Grant. We encourage you to check out the cool stuff we do at iiseagrant.org and at ILIN Sea Grant on Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube, and other social medias. Our senior producer is Carolyn Foley, and Teach Me About the Great Lakes is produced by Megan, the Lake Lover Gun, Reenie Miles, and Natty the Hose Morrison. I don't even remember what that nickname means. Sorry, Natty. What is the hose? I'll have to go back to the back catalog. Ethan Chitty is our associate producer and fixer, and our coordinating producer is Ava Hale. She's transcribing this as we speak. Our super fun podcast artwork is by the inimitable Joel Davenport, and the show is edited by Sandy Swoboda. If you have a question or comment about the show, send us an email, teachmeaboutthegreatlakes@gmail.com, or leave a message on our hotline at 765-496-IISG. That's 4474. That's 7654-964474. Or if you want to send us a postcard, 195 Marsteller Street, West Lafayette, Indiana, 47907. We do love our postcards. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening, and keep grading those lakes.